Ryan Williams, they call him Hollywood, and I'll tell you what, it's cinematic how good he is at helping Alabama recruit. We're going to talk about the wide receiver from Saraland and how he's trying to chip in to get the best players in the country to wear that crimson and white. It's a huge recruiting weekend in Tuscaloosa. We've talked about it. 11 of the best players in the country, their official visits to Alabama. You were getting fallout from last week, or maybe fall in, because Chuck McDonald, like we told you yesterday, committed to Alabama. Roll Tide, everybody. We're going to talk about that. And one of Alabama's superstar, five-star basketball players coming in with another big game. And what's going on in the world today. All that right here on the Bama Tailgate Daily Show. Like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Show's brought to you by our friends at Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi, celebrating 30 years. Let's get this thing started. I got a special guest. Well, maybe he's on the show every day. Big Elmo's going to be here right after this. Roll Tide. Tide, everybody, and thank you for joining the show. There he is, Mr. Brett Elmore, at Broadcaster Mick for me, at Brett Elmore Show for him on the socials. We talk Alabama and what's going on in the world every single day here on the show. Help us help you. You remember that? Help us help you. That's what we said on Jerry Maguire. Jerry was talking to Tidwell. He's like, help me help you. But what we want you to do is help us get to the Alabama fan base. Make sure that you guys share with your friends. Tell them they got these crazy guys that do a show on YouTube every day. And if you like Alabama, you need to check it out. All right, Brett, let me get this started right
Crazy
here.
Guys.
Crazy guys.
Speak for yourself.
All right, one crazy guy and then, one big Elmo.
Insane one.
All right, this guy right here has been absolutely killing it, man. He is, not only is he a great football player, but Ryan Williams has been so helpful to Alabama recruiting. And it's a big recruiting weekend, but I got to talk about this Hollywood Williams. I love him. I love him.
Yeah. Making that big pitch, Mick. We talked about, some of the guys that's on campus this weekend. And one of them we talked about yesterday was Na'eem Offord. This guy is committed to Ohio State. And there was some videos and everything circulating on social media yesterday. And he was saying, flip, 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 flip. And so he's, and we've talked about this, I don't know, Mick, 100 times about how these guys, they talk to one another.
Yeah.
When in this world of social media and Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and Snapchat and all this other stuff, they're connecting with one another. And the coaches play a big part in all this, no doubt about it. But the players these days, they play a huge factor in it as well.
Yeah.
They really do.
Well, I mean, look, you go play with guys you want to play with.
Sure.
And, Offord, who is a heavy Ohio State lean, right?
Yeah.
On3 has him at 80+%.
Right.
80.1% to go to Ohio State is according to On3 with a 5-star, consensus 5-star. Bama's got a 5.8% chance for the Parker High cornerback, right? But what I love is that he's going to go where he feels like he's playing with guys that he likes, and I love listening to players like, we're friends with Ryan Williams, right? And Ryan Anderson, who, by the way, knows Ryan Williams' dad, and Ryan Williams is awesome, and he coming to Alabama. And he's talking about when Shank was going to go to Florida State, and then, he runs into him and he's telling him everything he needs to know to come to Alabama. Some stuff was true, some stuff wasn't, but he just wanted him to come to Alabama with him,
Right.
These guys, they want to be around other winners. It's like Nick Saban said, and I totally think it's his all-time best quote, when he's talking about high achievers want to be around other high achievers. And I just feel like Ryan Williams is that guy that's helping Coach DeBoer and this new staff bridge these connections because he's coming to Alabama. He could have gone anywhere in the country. He's staying home, and he's playing for the University of Alabama, not the Ohio State University or whatever they're called. It's time for Alabama to just continue to do this. And Offord, if Alabama was able to get this guy seriously behind the program, I think he would play quickly, and I think it would be a huge win for this coaching staff. And honestly, they wouldn't do it without Hollywood.
You're right. No, you're absolutely right. This guy, if he progresses, he's going to be an NFL guy. Come where legends are made, where champions are made. 24/7 has him 100% going to Ohio State.
Really?
So flip. I'm with you, Ryan.
Yeah. That sounds like something that your buddy Roll Tide Willie would say.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
But look, man, I mean, like this is a huge recruiting weekend for Alabama. We've talked about it, all week that this was going to be one of those. You got 11 of the official visits, and then you got some that are unofficial, and you're kind of limited to what you can do based on how many officials and how many unofficials that you have. But
right.
I love what this staff is doing. I love the fact that Alabama has not relented at all when it comes to recruiting, right? Because Nick Saban was a master of this game. And having Daryl Johnson in town, having Dawson Merritt, just an incredible linebacker. I think he's going to end up at Alabama, right? Nick Townsend and Michael Carroll. I don't know where Michael Carroll's going to go, the offensive lineman from Pennsylvania, but I just got this feeling like his dad went to Penn State. I know he's up there, but I just got this feeling like he's going to fall in love with Coach Cap and that offensive line and kind of that offensive line, which is ranked number one right now,
that's
what they're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
Raylan Dillard Allen's another guy to keep an eye on. There's just so many good players that are going to Alabama. But you have a chance to reestablish this dynasty, this legacy, by going to Alabama right now and having a fun time doing it. And I just think that we're seeing look, they come to town, and then think about this last week. You get Chuck McDonald. Obviously you get the quarterback earlier in the week. I mean, like they're just slowly building a great recruiting class. And Dotto, man, I can't wait to see what he does at Alabama at that quarterback spot. But I think that this thing's building, and I don't think they're taking a step back without Saban. And that's not a shot at Saban. I just think that we got the right guy at the helm.
Yeah, but we're not reestablishing anything. We're continuing this dynasty.
Yeah.
Then that's how we have to look at it and take it. And I think that's what DeBoer has done. We are here to continue this dynasty. We're not going anywhere.
Right.
And I firmly believe it. And like you mentioned, yesterday we talked on the show about Chuck McDonald, and we said, this guy could be coming to Alabama. And then guess what happened? Later in the day, we came on and did a YouTube short where, guess what? Surprise, surprise. He's committed.
Yeah, he's in.
He's in.
Keelan Russell, he's in,
I mean, this cornerback from Mater Dei, the pipeline continues. He's signed, still delivered, committed. And a great job by Coach Lindquist in recruiting this guy. And that's just how we roll, baby.
Well, Coach Lindquist, when he was at Cincinnati, obviously, you got Sauce, right? Sauce Garner. You got Kobe Bryant. You got Alabama didn't even throw the ball in that football game. Do you remember that game against Cincinnati? I mean, they basically just threw to the tight end in the middle of the field and ran the ball because they didn't want to mess with these guys. You got that same coach. You got this guy now going out and getting top recruits from all over the country that are going to come in and be in the secondary, but also in our backyard as well.
Right.
And he's another guy that's coming in on a mission.
Well, yeah. And the coaching staff's did a great job where Coach Saban can enjoy that retirement and sort of like he did on Friday night, go to Atlanta and see the Rolling Stones in concert.
Yeah. Right.
That's really cool.
You like the Rolling Stones?
Love with the Rolling Stones, man.
Stones, man, the Stones. Nick Saban was great at recruiting, and obviously Mr. Oates, Coach Oates, has been, just killing it. One of his 5-star players that's committed to Alabama, Derrion Reid, the U18 game versus Canada, putting up big numbers. This guy is, look, a 5-star in Rivals and ESPN and 24/7. Small forward from Augusta, Georgia, doing it out on the hardwood. I can't wait to see this basketball team. We talk recruiting with hoops because they've made us do it. And here's a guy that's still playing, and then eventually he's going to be in that Alabama uniform, and he's going to be doing it in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah.
He'll have a new practice facility to hang out in.
Yeah. This guy's really good. He's 6'7", 180. He's got a great frame on him. And, he's going to develop. And a lot of people are saying he's one of the most versatile forwards in the country. This guy could eventually develop into a big time wing player. Mm-hmm. And he puts back some explosive dunks on some of those highlight reels that you see. And this guy is he's the real deal. It's cool to see him on that 18 and under team doing well, doing big things before he comes to Alabama.
Yeah, and against Canada, what a day. You constantly look around and you're like, man, these guys, 12 points, 6 of 8 field goal percentage, right? 10 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal. I got the feeling that Nate Oates is going after guys that obviously can do what they can do on offense, but also play defense. Mm-hmm. That was something that Final Four team really wasn't that good at. You look at the team that he's put together for this year, they're going to be good defensively. I don't remember the last time I've been this excited about basketball, and I love keeping an eye on these guys, like what we got coming in, what we got there now, what's going on, and this is going to be obviously a huge year. All right, look, our show is proudly presented by Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. When we come back from this quick timeout, Brett is going to take over. And let me move you over here. Now I'm moving to the driver's seat. But what I want to tell you guys is that Brett and I are going to be at Pearl River Resort for 2 big concerts. We both love Boys to Men, so we're going 4th of July weekend. And then Big and Rich, which I love Big and Rich. Remember, they were like their song was come in
to your city.
Yeah, that was like the football show. Gretchen Wilson's going to be there, but they've got Rodney Carrington coming. They've got Brian McKnight celebrating 30 years at Pearl River Resort over in Philadelphia, Mississippi. You got Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, which right now, if you spend, you all you got to do is bet $50 in the Timeout Sports Lounge, and for $40 you can play Dancing Rabbit, which is the Augusta that you can play, and it's the best course in Mississippi. It's one of the best in the entire South. But you got the spa, you got the water park, you got table games and slots, all that stuff. It's a quick getaway, hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 hours from other places in Alabama. It's not that far from anywhere in the South. And also, we just appreciate them for being part of what we do here every day. All right, with that said, Brett takes over after this.
River Resort. They call him Big Sexy, coming at you from the Walker County. Jasper is his hometown. He's known for giving free rundowns. Oh, Big Sexy, throwing out those Alabama thoughts, sneaking out your mom's window without getting caught. Licking to the XP, but Big Elmo is here to please. Big Sexy Elmo on the Bama Tailgate Show.
Yes, the 9th day of June 2024. And what a great way to spend it than right here with you guys and with Mick Gillespie. See?
There he is again. There, he loves doing that.
I love doing that. And you guys, you love for me to do that too. I saw it in the comment section. Just give him a big old bear. All right. Johnny Depp is celebrating a birthday today. He is 61.
I love him, man. And you know what?
Johnny
That
Depp.
trial was just so embarrassing,
God,
you know,
yeah.
with and it was like you could tell that his ex-wife or girlfriend or whatever was crazy. And it was just kind of like, man, these Hollywood people are nuts. And I'm not saying that Johnny's not Johnny's the normal dude, but I mean that whole thing, like I didn't sit there and watch it. I saw enough to know, like, buddy, you got to make better decisions in life.
Yeah.
But Pirates of the Caribbean is a great movie. He's the perfect actor for it. He's a great actor. So happy birthday.
Michael J. Fox is 63 today.
People ask me, Brett, what my favorite movies are, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know where Back to the Future falls in. Like, is it first? Is it third? Is it fifth? It's in my top 5 or 10 movies. I love Back to the Future. Matter of fact, I like all the Back to the Futures. Like, but I love the first one. I think the first one is a perfect movie. When Michael J. Fox was on television as, he was part of Family Ties. I loved him on that. I know he's got Parkinson's.
Yeah.
Man, I love that guy. And he's just he's a little tiny guy too. You ever see him? Like, he's a little guy, man. I love him though. Happy birthday to him.
Natalie Portman is 43 today.
Refresh my memory. I know the name, but
she was on, V for Vendetta.
okay. I don't know that
she
one.
was on, Queen of, she was,
All right, pass. Let's go there.
okay, go.
Happy birthday.
Sorry.
I don't know that.
If you would know if you was to see her.
Okay.
I don't know why I said it that way, but anyway, today's holidays.
Oh, we're already the holidays?
Yeah, there's not a lot of birthdays today.
All right. I should have talked more about Michael J. Fox.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Today is National Meal Prep Day. Do you meal prep for the week?
I see people doing that, and I probably should do that, right? Like my nephew did it. He lost some weight, looking good, looking sharp. My niece's husband's like, he looks like he works out all the time and stuff, and
Probably
he's like a
does.
meal prep guy.
Yeah.
My meal prep's normally like liquid beer.
Yeah.
I prep those. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm going to put you in the refrigerator, and as soon as work's over, I'm getting one of you, and I'm going to drink it.
I agree with you.
Like, what? Yeah, look at you. Drinking this early in the morning?
I'm telling you.
Look at you're just
when you hang out with people like you, just never know, man.
You never know. Okay. But I have meal prepped before. Back in college, I used to meal prep, but I haven't meal prepped lately.
No, you yeah.
Did you ever see? Remember, like, I worked with this guy. He's actually in the big leagues now. Nick Frangella, the Cubs. Like, he's the guy. If somebody gets hurt, he comes out.
Yeah, trainer.
Trainer. He had these meal prep boxes that he was selling, and he went from like being a real big guy to really thin and looking good. And I was like, man, I got to get these meal things. And they worked. I actually got lost a ton of weight on those things.
Really?
Yeah. And this is like years ago, but and
that's
then
what I need to do.
Tommy Lasorda, remember he did those meal or deal cards? They work.
What
was Richard Simmons used to do?
He's sweating to the oldies.
Sweating to the oldies. Yes, I believe in all that stuff.
He wasn't that much of a meal prepper. He was more of a magic fingers and let's sweat to the oldies.
I got a friend though that's like worried. That's worried about something going wrong, and he's got like a lot of the preps, the meal preps.
Come on, Mick.
We got a nuclear bomb blows up, like he's got like all the food at his house.
You know what? I had a cousin one time. He was one of those guys who thought the world was going to come to an end, and on what was it, 1999 to 2000?
Oh yeah, Y2K.
Oh yeah, Y2K. He believed all that, and I was like, "You're insane," and he clinically was. But anyway,
you never know, man. You just never know.
well. I mean, he spent like a year, and he buried a bunch of shit stuff in his yard, and then his basement was just filled with ammo and like beanie weenies and all these canned goods and stuff. And anyway, he sat around and he was ready for Y2K to hit. And guess what?
Nothing happened except we lost to Tom Brady in the Orange Bowl.
Yeah. And then
we blew a 21-point lead.
And then
lost on a missed field extra point. Sorry,
I remember that.
Okay.
And then was like, okay, well, what are you going to do with all this stuff? He was like, oh, I don't know. And so anyway, he let all this stuff, instead of donating it, I think all that stuff rotted. But anyway, it's just one of those things. Today is National No Apologies Period Day.
Yeah.
No apologies.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, man, I think apologies are good. They're hard, man. Like you swallow your pride and you say you're sorry.
Say sorry.
Lesson I learned from Darryl Strawberry last year was not apologizing, but accepting an apology or giving grace to someone that doesn't deserve it. Maybe the people you care about the most that hurt you the most are the ones that, that you need to grant that grace to, right? God gives you grace. You got to grant. That's the toughest thing you do as a person. And apologies are kind of along that same line. You can't be afraid to apologize, but you also can't be the type of person that doesn't accept an apology, man.
I didn't know you was going to get so deep in that.
I did. I mean, but it's National Apology Day. But you know what I mean? Like, and it's a hard thing to do. You're a great person, though. I think it's easier for you to apologize because of who your personality is, like the way you are. For me, it's like, man, I hate it, dude. I hate digging it up. I'm like, man, I'm sorry. I said that I should have said Valenzuela, but I said Venezuela.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
sorry, guys.
Show.
I'm not Cubs channel.
Yeah. I didn't know you was getting so deep into that because then don't shoot the messenger. But today is also National Sex Day. Any comments?
Well, I mean, there's so many different directions that you can take that. I mean,
what's your position on that?
Well, who's the one? Yeah, who's the one that was like, "Hey, we got to have National Sex Day. Like, we need to go out there and make sure that we promote sex." Like, it may have wrapped into the National Apology Day because today is also. Let's see, there was something else that I thought was. A part of this trend here that we're seeing, but nonetheless, yeah, it's National Sex Day. What do you do for that though? Like, is there like a like a clinic? Or is there I mean, what what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing?
I mean, I could probably put on a clinic.
Well, you are big sexy, so
that's right.
Big sexy Elmo.
I know what it was. Today is Wine and Dine Day. See there. Wine and Dine Day, National Sex Day, and then National No Apologies Period Day.
You seem like you'd be a wine and diner.
Yeah, I can wine and dine.
Yeah, I could see that with you.
Yeah, no, I can do that.
Is it National Dutch Day? I'm the Dutch guy. If you pay your way. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I'm really joking. I think that I'm old school, man. I think it's one of those deals where you obviously. If you can wine and dine the person you care about, I think that's a good thing. Giving is definitely a feeling that all of us love.
Mm-hmm. I bought Mick's lunch yesterday.
And the guy gave it to us for free.
I was like, Mick, I'm going to buy you lunch. Let's, we're going to lunch and everything.
It was a great lunch.
And Mick has been very good to me since I've been up here to.
I want and dine.
Mick is. I mean, he's just been a great host.
Thank you.
And so I was like, and I try to buy things here and there, and then I was like, I'll buy your lunch. So pick us a nice place to go. And he said, oh, I got this great place. Anyway, so 40 minutes later, after taking our order, we still had not received our food. And anyway, they gave us, they comped our food, and we had to pay for our drinks. But
which wasn't much.
Which wasn't much. It was like $13 or something. I don't know. It was like,
win.
Yeah. And I was like, yep, I got this lunch here today, like
You're
a big
next.
spender,
You're next.
You're next, pal.
We're going to steaks. We're going to steaks tonight, aren't we?
Yes,
on
exactly. Yeah, on me. On me. I'll find a way to get that for free too.
This meat's very tough.
Oh,
No,
boy,
we didn't complain. They just
No,
it took so
no,
long.
no,
It was their call. We didn't even ask.
Yeah, no, we didn't complain or anything. We were just like, will you check on our food? I mean, it's been a little. And then the guy was like, it's been 40 minutes. And I was like, well, I didn't know it did. But no.
I just knew that I had to get to work.
Yeah, Mick had to go to work bad, and everything was, and it's like bumper to bumper traffic and everything.
Bumper to bumper.
It's bumper to bumper.
All right.
Today, 1822, Charles Graham receives the first patent for false teeth.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I remember like asking my grandfather, I was like, how many of those teeth are real? And it was most of them were fake. And I was like, I guess they're all going to fall out eventually. I don't want that to happen, but at least
you're probably going to be all right.
No, I don't want that to happen, man. I don't. I'd prefer to have the real things, but if I got to have fake ones, at least they look real.
Yeah. 1934, Donald Duck made his first appearance on screen in The Wise Little Hen.
When I was coming up, like they had DuckTales, but they didn't really have a lot. Disney really didn't have a lot of shows, and it was before like Disney had its own channel.
Chippendales?
Yeah,
the Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, I like them, but I mean, Chippendale. Did you like the time that Patrick Swayze and Chris Farley were Chippendales?
That's funny as all get out, actually.
But, like you talk about like Donald Duck. How good is his orange juice?
I don't know. I have had Donald Duck's orange juice before, oddly enough. 1973, Secretariat became the horse's first Triple Crown winner in 25 years by winning the Belmont, which is today.
Yeah. Belmont's today. Father Carl, he's my guy. He's like loves horse racing. It's in his blood. He's also the guy that talk me as a kid into want to be a play-by-play guy.
Yeah.
And he's so into it, man. He knows the jockeys, he knows the horses, he knows the bloodlines. Like he watches races all year round. And it's sad kind of in a way that like the thing's over, like Belmont, and that's it.
Yeah. And you told me the other day that you always want me to end this on a high note, so I do. Okay, 1980. Can't have it high enough. I'm telling you. Comedian Richard Pryor suffered nearly fatal burns at his California home when a mixture of freebase cocaine exploded. Has that ever happened to you, Mick?
It hasn't, but I love Richard Pryor. I mean, I loved him when I was a kid. We would listen to Richard Pryor, like, when I was supposed to, but somebody's dad had him, like the records.
Yeah.
And it was like the different stand-ups that he would do. A lot of people didn't like him in the movie The Toy. I loved him in The Toy. I liked it. Anything that Richard Pryor did, I loved.
I did too. I thought he was
hilarious, man. Harlem Nights, he was good in that movie.
Oh, man, yeah.
He's just like, he was so good, so funny, and so flawed, but we all are, man. Nobody's perfect. And it just, back then you didn't the stars were kind of like, on this pedestal.
Yeah.
And he caught on fire.
Literally.
Yeah.
He caught fire. All right.
Yeah. But he was awesome, man. Yeah. Richard Pryor's up there. He's on the Mount Rushmore of comedians to me, So, yeah, it's a good one. I love Richard Pryor. All right, guys. Hey, like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Comments. Thank you, guys. We love all the great comments. Look at this guy sneaking up on me. But we love the great comments. Roll Tide, everybody. We will talk to you again tomorrow.